technically, as of you seeing this, it's February, but for me, it's the 31st of January. Um, I'm pretty sure this is actually the 1 year mark for my Q&A videos, actually, and I'm really surprised how much people actually enjoy them. Because I'm always getting a ton of questions every time, usually around like 50 different questions. Um, as I always say on my Facebook statuses, I'll try to answer as many of them as I can. Um, I'm not going to answer all of them either because they're just taking too long, or it's something I've answered a bunch of times already, or if it's something that I just really don't want to answer. So I'm going to do what I can, and hopefully it's enjoyable. Okay, Ian wants to know what my opinion on the new Gibson Les Paul Js, or I think they're called LPJs. Um, I think they'd seem okay. I don't remember what the price was on them, but they seemed pretty decent. I mean, I would probably switch the pickups out on them if they were me, or if you were me. As well as the Melody Maker with the two P90s. That one I thought looked really cool. If I had like an extra like $600, I think it is, to just like fuck around with, I wouldn't mind getting one. I really do like P90s, but I just don't like the fact that they hum. But that being said, the P90 that I have in my black Strat is like one of the best sounding things I've ever heard. So I mean, it's give and take. So. But I do really like the Melody Maker a lot, more than the LPJ, personally. Timmy asks, out of Alkaline Trio, Blink-182, and Paramore, who would I choose to make a giant band of 2 singers, 2 guitarists, a bass player, and a drummer? Drummer, I mean, I'd have to go with Travis. Bass player, I'd probably go with... honestly, that's probably the toughest one. Because, I mean, I love Mark Hoppus, but, I mean, his bass playing isn't really anything out of the ordinary, or it's not really, like, anything amazing. Dan from Alkaline Trio is a really solid bass player, but the only one that really does a lot of stuff, like, out of the box is Jeremy from Paramore, so I'm going to go with him. 2 guitar players, I would go with... I'd go with Tom DeLonge, and then I would probably go with probably Matt Skiba, and then I would also have Matt sing, and I would have Mark sing. So I wouldn't have Tom sing, maybe do like backups or some shit, but that's probably what I would do. Jack asks what my favorite tracks off the Boxcar Racer CD are. If I had to choose favorites, I mean, I love the whole album, but if I had to say it, so I'll do like my top 3. I'd have to go with There Is, which is easily like one of my favorite songs ever. I really, really like And I. God, I could choose any of the songs. That's really hard. I'd probably have to go with Cat Like Thief, though. And it's not because of Tim Armstrong, because I really don't like Tim Armstrong. I just really like the song, though. Chris wants to know, if I ever met Justin Bieber, what would I tell him? I'd tell him to go back to Canada and fuck himself. Alex asks if I will check out his band. I actually did check it out earlier as I was like looking over the questions, but I'll show off like a little clip, I guess. Let me see. Yeah, there was one song, Mona Lisa, that sounded pretty cool. I like the Mona Lisa song more than I like the two-stepping one, but I'll play it. I really like my stuff to be a little heavier personally, or a little more guitar oriented. But I mean, I could definitely see that fitting into like some of the, like the later '90s like poppy type stuff. So I mean, it's not bad. And for anyone wondering, it's a band called After all one word, AFTERALL, and then exclamation point. It's on Facebook. So yeah, it's not bad. Um, Dylan wants to know if I like single coil pickups. Um, well, what I don't like about single coil pickups is mostly just like, say like just a standard Strat. If it was like three single coils, I hate how that middle one pretty much rests right where I'm doing like my picking or my my strumming, anything like that, because I always feel it, and it's always like in the back of my brain that I'm hitting it, and it bothers me. I really don't like it. Um, as it goes for like tone, I don't mind tone. I mean, I personally don't like it for my tone, but there's a lot of really good Strat sounding players out there. I posted a link a couple days ago. This guy named Sithu, but you can go to his Bandcamp page. The band name is Sithu, which is Sithu space AYE. And the guy, you can definitely tell he does like a lot of his lead work on a Strat because it's got a really Stratty sound. And you can actually see some of his videos too. But I really love the tone of that. Also, I really like when Paul Gilbert uses single coils a lot. Another one like Yngwie Malmsteen gets a really good tone out of them. What the hell is that guy's name? Nick Johnston, I think is his name. On YouTube, uses pretty much only Strats as far as I know, and he gets a really awesome tone. I personally just don't like using them, but I do think they sound really cool. Like if I'm listening to something, I don't mind hearing them at all. Have I checked out the band Gemini Syndrome? I've never really heard of them, and most of the time when people ask if I've checked out this band, it's usually going to be a no. If it's some really obscure band, then it's probably not. But I mean, you could always leave me a link or something. Aaron asked what my favorite track off Jimmy Eat World's Futures is. That's a really hard one too. Forgot I wasn't in drop D. I'm probably gonna have to say either 21 or the title track Futures. I really like that. And did I see Alkaline Trio when they had Bayside support? No, I wish I did. That would have been really cool. I have seen Bayside and I have seen Alkaline Trio live though. I saw Bayside a couple months ago, and then that was with Motion City Soundtrack. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Motion City, but they were good. But Bayside was really good. And then Alkaline Trio, I actually saw them in like 2005 or something with Reggie in the Full Effect, who I love them, or love him, James Dewey's, and My Chemical Romance was the main act, and that was actually the show that made me stop liking My Chemical Romance, because I mean, I liked them at the time, but I don't know, they played like every song in their entire library, and that was when they were getting really big with Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge, or whatever the hell that name the album was. And I don't know, they just wore on me like the whole night. I just wanted to go home. Let's see. Landon wants to know what the absolute best meal I ever had was. It really depends on like what kind of mood I'm in, because if something hits the spot, then it's just awesome. But if I had to pick like one meal, there's this hibachi place, maybe about like 45, 50 minutes away, called Osaka. And if you don't know what hibachi is, it's where like it's like a Asian restaurant where like they cook the food in front of you like on those big flat grills, and you're all like sitting around them, and it was like it was this $50 meal that like me and my dad split, I think, um, and it was, as far as I can remember, it was like rice, chicken, filet mignon, lobster, and shrimp. I think, I don't know, but it was so good. And I actually had that twice, so amazing both times. Let's see. How do I grow a beard? I don't know. Be a man. I started growing facial hair when I was 12, so I don't know. Either you can or you can't, I guess. Um, Danny wants to know what my thoughts on the new Taking Back Sunday single, Flicker Fade, and the used single, Cry. Um, Personally, I never liked the used. From whatever I heard of them, I just never really got into them, so I haven't heard their new single. I did check out the Taking Back Sunday one, though. I mean, it sounded good, but it seemed like definitely a new direction for them. Um, wasn't what I was expecting at all. But I mean, it sounded pretty cool. I'll check out the album when it comes out. Um, Jordan wants to know what I would rate GTA 5 on 1 to 10 scale. I'd give it at least a 9. I don't really care for the multiplayer at all. But the single player and like just the whole gameplay is just amazing. Um, Another one from Jordan wants to know if I like Ibanez. In certain aspects, I do. My Ibanez acoustic is really nice. I think I spent probably like less than $300 on it, and I still use it a decent amount. The bass amp that I still have, I was actually trying to sell it, but didn't end up selling it. But it's a decent little bass amp, so I mean, I really have no problem with it. When it comes to their guitars, though, they're not really for me. A lot of like my favorite players use Ibanez. Like Paul Gilbert's been playing only Ibanez for like 20, 25 years or something. So I mean, I have nothing against people who use Ibanez or anything. Let's see. What's my favorite Gibson guitar? Les Paul. What's my favorite Fender guitar? Strat. Pretty simple. GML says, what other 4 Year Strong album except for Rise or Die Trying would I recommend? If you like Rise or Die Trying, I don't know if you do like that one or you're trying to find one different from that one, but the one right after that's really good. Enemy of the World. And then the cover album's really cool too. Explains It All. So that one's good. But overall, I mean, the newest album's, it's not bad. But, I mean, it's not going to be anything like Rise or Die Trying, that's for sure. Next question's from Katie. It says, besides your dream guitar, what do you want most in the world? I would love to not have back pain anymore. Back pain and wrist pain. Now, a lot of you probably don't know this, but there are some days I can't play guitar because my wrists, both of them, just hurt too bad. You could probably even hear me crack it. Oh. Not so much that one, but I can get some really shitty pain out of these wrists. And my back's been on and off for like 5-6 years, maybe even a little longer than that. When I used to play a little bit more sports, but ever since I've been working full time, I fuck up my back every now and then, and like the past few months really sucked. So if I could just not have back pain or any bodily pain anymore, that would be wonderful. Let's see. Shane wants to know if I've checked out Tonight Alive's music before. I have. They're not really for me. I know a lot of people compare it to Paramore, and I don't even really get into Paramore that much anymore. But I mean, Tonight Alive's okay, but I don't know. Girl singers just, they have to be really good for me to like them. And I don't know. I mean, she's good, but it doesn't really do much for me. They did do a really good cover of that little Lion Man song, that little guitar part that they do, that I'm pretty sure is like originally banjo or whatever the hell it is really cool. So, let's see, another Justin Bieber question. Johnny wants to know if I like Boys Night Out. I've never listened to him, so I don't know. I've heard of him a bunch of times. Okay, I got like 7 questions from Alvin, so I better just play some guitar for a second. Okay. Alvin asks, did you think the Second Law Muse's dubstep sound was good? There wasn't really that much dubstep about it. I mean, they had like that one song, I think it's Follow Me, that's like kind of dubsteppy, I think that's what it is. Let's see. Yeah, Follow Me. I really like the song because, I mean, Muse still made it their own anyway. I mean, I think dubstep as a whole is really fucking stupid, but, I mean, I think they kind of pulled it off. And it's not like the whole album's dubstep or anything like that. Like songs like Supremacy, Panic Station, Survival, pretty much any of them are pretty far off from that. I know like the Unsustainable song, is kind of dubsteppy. I mean, I don't really care for that one, but what's my least favorite Rush album and least favorite Rush song? Album would probably have to be Caress of Steel. It's just really dark, and I don't know, I just don't find myself listening to it very much. Though Bastille Day is a really good song, but every other one on that album I don't really care for. Least favorite song, probably, I'm just gonna say Red Lenses, just for the hell of it. I don't know if I'd really call it like my least favorite, but Red Lenses is on Grace Under Pressure, and I feel like that's the only song in that whole album that I don't love, because that whole album to me is perfect except for that one song that just doesn't make any fucking sense, and I just don't really like it. Who do I think are the most talented guitar players? I could name 100 of them. Paul Gilbert I still think is easily one of the best. Guthrie Govan's really good. Nick Sampson from I'm Abomination's incredible. Alex Lifeson from Rush. Let's see. I'll just go through my iTunes. The guys from Protest the Hero are ridiculous. Any of these numerous metal bands. Chris Chaney from Living End, really, really good. The guys from Coheed and Cambria are pretty damn good. The Bayside lead guitar player is fucking awesome. I love that guy. He writes some of the coolest riffs I've ever heard. But I'll just leave it there since I already named a few. For sound, what wood do you think best for your guitars to be made out of? Body and neck. I mean, that's complete preference. I mean, it really depends on what you like and what you don't like. Because I mean, like a lot of guitars, they're made out of certain woods to be a good match for the other types of woods in it. So like most Les Pauls are going to be like mahogany body, mahogany neck, and then most of them will have a maple cap on them, and then whatever fretboard. Some of them have ebony, some have maple, some have rosewood. This one's rosewood. But I mean, it really doesn't matter to me as long as together it all works. Because if you have something that's like overly bright or something, like if I had like a maple guitar and then a maple neck, maple fretboard, it's gonna be really bright. And then if I had something that was just all mahogany, it's gonna be really dark, most likely. So, I mean, just I don't really care what it is as long as it is just balanced. Um, Sammy Hagar or David Lee Roth? David Lee Roth. Most talented bass players. Victor Wooten. Uh, what the fuck's his name? Damn it. What the fuck's his name? I always forget. Billy Sheehan. That's who I was thinking of. Geddy Lee. Plenty of others. There's a ton of them. Any tips on writing leads? Practice. Listen to songs, just fuck around, like listen to whatever you like, and then just try and just do stuff over it, because that's what I do. Really nothing other than just practice, and I mean you can get lessons and stuff too, but I mean the more you play, the better you're gonna get. Connor wants to know what my thoughts on Metallica are. Anything before Black Album is good, including Black Album. Anything after that, I could care less about. In what order do we write songs with my band? Usually Dave writes like the majority of the songs. I've written like right now in our rotation we have 5 songs. I've written one of them. That's only because I kind of came in late though. So Dave already had like a few ideas. Most of the time he writes like a good chunk of the rhythm. I'll help him like kind of wrap it up and maybe figure out like another rhythm part or something, and then I usually write the leads. But at the same time, like the drums are like coming together. I mean, it's all happening like at once, really. We still don't have lyrics for anything though. What do I think of the Wonder Years' Greatest Generation album? And this is from Adam. I don't know the album. From what I can tell, it might be the album that I covered like one song off of. It was An American Religion or something like that. I don't remember, but it sounded okay. Quentin wants to know, how's the search for the singer going? Shitty. What's my opinion on Squier Strats? I want to get a Fender, but it's not in my price range. Should I just wait? I don't know if you've checked like used Fender guitars. I think a used Fender is going to beat a new Squier, any Squier, out of the water. Because you can get a new Squier Strat for like $200 and up, maybe even a little less than that. But you could find like a used Fender Strat for around the same price. So that's what I would do, personally. Jake asks, Ron Jeremy on a wrecking ball, have you seen it? Thankfully not. Henry wants to know what my thoughts on the Swellers are. They seem okay. I mean, I have some friends that listen to them. I've heard a couple songs that sound alright. I never really got around to really listening to a lot of them. And what length do I prefer for songs? Short, lengthy, somewhere in the middle. As long as it doesn't feel rushed or just kind of like just cut off, then I don't really care. There's some songs that are 20 minutes long that I really like, and there's some songs that are 2 minutes long that I really like, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, usually it's somewhere in the middle, around like 3 or 4 minutes. Another one from Jake. You listen to the Story of the Year? No, I mean, I've heard a couple songs of them like a while ago, but I mean, they seemed alright. I just never really got into them. And have I ever heard of the Semester Review? I haven't, but you could leave me a link if you want. Favorite non-punk band? Non-pop punk band. This is from Jordan. I've got a fucking ton of them. But in like say like my top 10, Gravedigger is like German metal. Hammerfall, Swedish metal. For both of those though, I don't really like their new stuff too much. Muse, I really like. I'm Abomination. The Living End is awesome. What else? Bayside, I wouldn't really call pop punk. The Cars are really good. Foo Fighters are nice. Seosin is good. Steel Panther is awesome. Thrice is good. So, I mean, any of those. Johnny wants to know what I think about putting a Hot Rails pickup in a Gibson Melody Maker. Should work out pretty good, as long as it fits. I'm not sure. I don't know. I always thought of Melody Makers being P90, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Sebastian wants to know what my hopes and expectations are for Blink's new album. I just hope it sounds good. I hope they write it all in a room together. I don't want them being like disconnected like they were before. That's pretty much all I really care about. And I hope there's a good amount of Mark singing and Tom singing, like especially together. Like Neighborhoods, it was mostly Tom, and they didn't have a lot of songs where they sang together, and that kind of bugged me a little. Sebastian wants to know if I was going to get my own signature guitar, what brand would I choose? Probably a Gibson. And would I go for bare knuckle pickups? Hell yeah, I would, because I love them. Leo, some of you probably know him, wants to know if I think he can come back with the new Blink album. If you don't know him, Leo Deho or Deho or whatever his name is, a lot of people say he's like a Tom DeLonge wannabe or whatever. I don't know. I think he's pretty cool, but he does a lot of like guitar covers like I do. I mean, anytime a new Blink album comes out and I do like the whole thing, I get a ton of new views, so I don't see why you wouldn't. Miguel wants to know what kind of vocalist my band is searching for. I don't really care what kind of singer we have as long as he's good, but the other guys really want something that's like, not screams, but kind of shouts, I guess. A lot of bands they say they're looking for style-wise is like Polar Bear Club or Flatliners, Wilhelm Scream, kind of in there where you're just like kind of raspy but yelling at the same time. But it's hard to find a singer like that. Lucas wants to know what I think of the Hives and Grinspoon. The Hives, I think I've heard maybe like one or two songs. They sounded alright. I don't really care for the singer that much though. If it's the one I'm thinking of. I always get that mixed up with the Vines. And Grinspoon, I don't know Grinspoon. I've heard the name before. And what albums am I looking forward to the most aside from Blink? Oh, Jesus. I don't know. I haven't really been paying attention too much about what albums have been coming out. I Am Abomination, I know, is working on a new EP. I assume it's going to be an EP because it's a follow-up to one of their EPs from like a couple years ago, Passion of the Heist, so I really can't wait for that. I'm looking at like my CD wall, seeing if I can think of anything that's even coming out, and I can't even think of anything. I really want a new good 4 Year Strong album. That would be cool. Alright, I gotta try and pick this up because this is taking a while. And I still have a lot of questions. My favorite Final Fantasies, he says in order. I'm not going to do it in order. I finally played Final Fantasy VII like a year ago. Easily the best one that I've played. I really wish I played it earlier because I had only played it this year. I really like 6 a lot. 9 was really good. I played that one pretty recently too. Um, I haven't played 1. I haven't played 2. 3 was pretty good. I played that on the DS. 4 is amazing. I really like 4. 5 was really good. I liked 5. 8 I couldn't get into. I just couldn't finish it. 10 I really couldn't get into. Not for a lack of trying. I never played 11. Never played 12. 13 was alright. 13-2 sucked dick. Some of the, like, I don't know what to call it, but like some of like the titles that weren't like part of the main series that were really good. Some of the older Game Boy ones, like Final Fantasy Adventure is really good. Final Fantasy Legend 1, 2, 3 are all good. I never played any of the Tactics ones or like Crystal Chronicles or anything like that, so that's pretty much it. Let's see. Stanley wants to know what's my take on P90s and getting a good pop punkish tone. Well, P90s, I mean, I talked about them enough already. I really like them. I just don't like the fact that they hum. But if you have a noise suppressor, it's fine. A lot of people, I mean, there's a lot of good ways to get a good pop punk tone. You either got to have a good amp or a like the right pedal setup. I don't really like fucking around with pedals too much, so I mean, obviously my Mesa Boogie pretty much does everything I need. But overall, I mean, you really just got to work at it and just fuck around with stuff, do research, trying to figure out what's gonna work. Anibal, I don't know. PlayStation, Xbox, or Nintendo. I really liked the 360. I mean, I played it a lot. I put a lot of money into games for that. But ever since like the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 thing happened, I've been playing a lot more on my PlayStation. My PlayStation 3, I don't have a PS4. Though, for like the older days, I love Nintendo. I think like the Super Nintendo and the N64 were the best. But if I was gonna get anything like any next gen console, because I don't have a PS4, Xbox One, or a Wii U, but if I was gonna get one, I'd probably get a PS4. James wants to know if I am a fan of Jawbreaker. I'm not. I'd never really listened to him. Robert wants to know what my favorite distortion pedal is. Don't have one because I don't use one. Daniel wants to know if I watch Family Guy. I haven't like actually watched Family Guy on TV in years, but the first couple seasons are really good. He also wants to know what's the difference between the average Gibson neck as opposed to Fender neck. Both brands offer a lot of different styles. So like, say like the difference between this Les Paul and my ES335. This has what they call a slim 60s neck, and it has nothing to really do with like this width or anything like that, but it's like how far back this goes, and so like it's, for some people less neck is better, for some people it's not. That neck is a lot rounder, it's a lot bigger, but it's not necessarily wider. So like it kind of cups the hand a little bit better. It suits different styles of play. So like a lot of jazz players like the bigger neck, stuff like that. A lot of people that play like really fast, like shredding, like usually like smaller, thinner necks. If you get like a Jackson Dinky or like an Ibanez, those necks are so fucking thin, it's ridiculous. Which I don't like. Same thing with Fenders. They have rounder profiles. They have C-shape profiles, D-shape profiles. I mean, it's all different. And probably the biggest thing is if you compare like 99% of Gibson guitars versus like 99% of Fender guitars, Gibson's scale length, which is from here to here, is 24 and 3/4. I'm pretty sure it's from here to here. 24 and 3/4 inches, and Fenders is always, mostly always, except for I think it was like Jaguars or something, is a little bit longer than that. It's like 3/4 of an inch longer, so it's like 25 and a half. So, I mean, those are the biggest differences anyway. But you can get Les Pauls with thick necks, thinner necks, different fretboards. I mean, same thing with Strats, whatever. Aaron wants to know how I like my Telly since I changed some stuff on it, and if I'm planning on switching out anything else on any of my other guitars. I really like the way the Telly turned out. The tuners on it aren't very good. I've been thinking about upgrading to like some locking tuners or something on them. Other than that, the guitar is great. I was planning on using it for my band mostly, but I went back to the Strat because it's just more comfortable to play, at least in that setting. And the whole thing with like the single coil and the 5150, even with like my noise suppressor and everything, there's just so much feedback, and I just don't feel like dealing with it. And I did buy a new pickup for the orange Strat. It's another bare knuckle. It's the Juggernaut that I've been wanting for a long time. And I actually, I haven't really decided what I'm going to do with the Dirty Fingers pickup that's in it. I'm probably going to put it into the blue Strat, which is actually over there in its case, because that's the one I've been bringing to practice. Because Dave, the other guitar player, actually uses an Invader, Seymour Duncan, which is the same thing I have in that one. And the two together, I mean, it's just pretty much like the same sound coming out of both guitars almost. So it'd be cool to just kind of like mix it up a little bit. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that Invader. So I don't know. I haven't really decided. Let's see. Tom wants to know if I like Queens of the Stone Age or Deftones. Queens of the Stone Age is actually one I've been getting back into. I grabbed their album, Songs for the Deaf, I'm pretty sure is the name of it. I got that in the store when it was like just coming out, and I mean, I kind of liked it at the time, but I kind of stopped listening to it, but I've been getting back into it more. Deftones I never really got into, though. Matthew wants to know if I like the White Stripes or Jack White. Not really. Not really a fan. I don't like his singing at all. Ozzy wants to know what I think of the YouTube formed band Far As Hell. Another one that I just don't know. Sorry. Andrew, what's something you like about yourself? And what's something you dislike about yourself? I like that I don't really I'm kind of my own person. Like, I don't really care what other people think. I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there that struggle with peer pressure and stuff like that, and I've never been like that at all. Like, smoking, drinking, and tons of other things. Like, never been pressured. Or I've never let pressure affect me to do anything like that, so I really like that. What's something I dislike? Like I said before, if I didn't have back pain or just any sort of pain like that, that would be great. I would really enjoy that. If I could only play one song for the rest of my life, what would it be? Probably 2112 by Rush, just because it's like 20 minutes long. When writing songs, do I use anything as a reference? No, I usually just fuck around on guitar. I'll be like watching TV or something, then like I'll think of like a cool riff or something, and I'll just kind of build off of it. That's usually what I do. Mike says, have you found a singer or have lyrics for the songs you demoed yet? I wish. Sam's asking a question. What do you think Blink's next album will be called? I have no fucking idea. What can we expect to hear from Tom's guitar playing? No idea. um, I don't know. In Mac or Windows, I've never used a Mac, so I've always been kind of a Windows guy. Um, Not trying to sound like a jerk with like the other part, but I mean, I really have no idea. I really doubt he's gonna go back to writing stuff that sounds like "Take Off Your Pants and Jacket" and stuff like that. I really doubt it. Okay, I got a couple more here. Do I like Radiohead? Hell no, not at all. Any cool things I'm planning on getting with my tax return money? Um, well, I actually plan on finally getting a good chunk saved for a Gibson Les Paul Custom. I'm pretty sure another person asked this. Yeah, what color Les Paul Custom am I going to get? I really, really want a black one. If maybe if the deal is right, I'll get a different color. I mean, that's how I got this one, and how I got the one before this one that was actually almost the same color. It's just because it was a good deal at the time. So, but I really want a black one. But I'm actually going to be planning on selling this to give like the extra chunk of money to get the Les Paul Custom. I know some people might not like that. I mean, and as good as this guitar has been to me over the years, I mean, if I get a Les Paul Custom, I'm just not going to play this fucking thing anymore. It's just the way it is. I never liked the color. I always fucking disliked the color. The pickups are good, but I want the Les Paul Custom to sound a little different. I don't know if I'm going to take the pickups and everything off and then put it back to standard stuff and then sell it. I'll be selling it with all the parts anyway. So I don't really know what I'm going to do so much that, but I'm getting maybe like $1,600 back, hopefully somewhere around there for taxes, and selling this I'm hoping will give me a bit over 1,000, maybe like 11, 12, somewhere around there. And I've been watching Gibson Les Paul Customs on eBay for a while, and every now and then a deal pops up for under 2,500, so that's pretty much what I'm planning. Benjamin wants to know if I'm going to do a Mark, Tom, and Travis show full album cover. Maybe. We'll see. Gage wants to know what my opinion of the band Hawk Nelson is. They're pop punk. Never heard of them. Man also wants to know what my favorite thing to eat is. It depends on my mood. I love chicken. I love burgers. I love pizza. I love certain types of seafood. So, I mean, it really depends. If I had to pick one thing, it'd probably be a nice fat burger with blue cheese. What's your favorite Bayside solo? Mine is It's Not a Bad Little War. And will we see more Bayside covers from you? Mine's actually the same guitar solo. I love that one. With Bayside covers, I don't think I'll be doing anything from the new album. That doesn't mean I won't try and learn them. Maybe I'll post them on Facebook, but they just got taken over by Hopeless Records. I'm pretty sure they're named Hopeless something, whatever. And they're the same ones that picked up Yellow Card not long ago. And they are super strict with their songs on YouTube, and you post anything on there and you just get fucked every single time. So maybe I'll give one a shot and see if it gets taken down, but literally as soon as I uploaded anything from Southern Air from Yellow Card, it got taken down. So I don't know. I maybe some older songs, but nothing from the new album. And the last question from Jim. With PV5150s and Mesa rectifiers being pretty much the defining sounds of modern rock and metal guitar, how would you describe the differences in sound? And price aside, which would you pick if you could only have one? If I could only have one, I would go with the Mesa. Though the Mesa is never going to sound like as dark and just evil sounding as that 5150. Like, if you get the 5150 with like the right speaker cab that's also kind of like a little dark sounding, it sounds so brutal and it's just awesome. but the Mesa Boogie's just got an awesome all-around sound. I mean, it's good for pretty much anything. And the PV's really for mostly hard rock and metal and stuff like that. But a Mesa can do, in my opinion, pretty much anything. I think it's easily one of the best all-around amps, because usually amps are either really good with clean or really good with heavy stuff, and I think the Mesa Boogie can do anything, even if it's just like a 2-channel version. If it's just like, say, like the 2-channel single rectifiers, dual rectifiers, I think even those, not necessarily like my 4-channel one, I think those could handle a huge range of stuff compared to the 5150. I mean, the cleans on it are okay, but I mean, they're not amazing. And then like the high gain stuff is incredible. It's really really cool, but I don't know. I'd have to pick the Mesa Boogie. So that's pretty much all I got. I have no idea how long this video is. I feel like this was a really long one. That's what she said. So thanks for watching, and like I said, never thought I'd be doing these for a year, once a month, but I'm glad you guys like them. And thanks to those people who were reminding me, because I probably would have forgotten again. But if you got any questions that you want me to answer right away, you can just leave a comment below, anything like that. So that's it. I'll see you later.